here.
We're fine-tuning the final things. Okay.
So yeah, we are almost maxing out. So I was messaging Chris, hop on before we are stuck here. So welcome everyone. This is we created this webinar here, this Zoom meeting here, especially actually for our Dutch audience, but we will be hosting it in English. Of course, Chris is in the house. I heard that his Dutch is not perfect.
The final things.
So,
okay.
So yeah, we almost
maxing out. So hold on.
Oh, let me see. Chris, hop on before we are.
Yes.
Turn off the sound there. I think we are good right now. So it will be hosted in English, of course. If you have any questions, if English is not your first language or your best language, and you have a specific question in Dutch, just message or put it in the chat, and I'll ask it for you. Yeah, that's basically it, right?
Yes, that is basically it. In according to saying hi and welcoming everyone. We discussed that I'm going to do like a broad introduction about why this webinar for the people who don't really know us, because I'm going to do a brief introduction. Some people invited others, so they might not know us. So let me just take off and do that first, so you know who you're watching, who you're looking at, and what makes us, having the right to share very valuable information. So we're Dirk and Muriel. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to stick with us, hopefully until the end, because we will be maxed out. We have 50 spots only. So the moment you leave the Zoom, someone else will grab the spot, I believe, and then you're going to miss out on all the goodies. This is a very exclusive interview with a very exclusive person. You want to meet him, you will meet him. Why are we hosting this webinar? Well, for the people who know us a little bit, we are online for 8 years, and we have a special message for those who are still looking for an extra way or a way to create an online income. It's for those. This is just for everyone who is done with trading time for money, right? Who is done with having a job, having a traditional business. Now, this might not sound new to you. We are active for 8 years in the affiliate marketing space. This is how we create our income since 2016, full-time with online activities that's generating our income. So what is new to this? Well, that's what you will be hearing in this webinar. What is most important is that what you will be able to learn in this exclusive webinar with this exclusive guest is that you can add this to anything you're already currently doing. So this is not like we're grabbing you away from whatever you're doing. Perhaps you started as an affiliate marketer whatsoever. You can add this seamlessly into what you're currently doing. This is what we do ourselves, right? We just happen to be on top of this because we have been following Chris all along since we met him about 8 years ago in the online internet space. Most people who never saw us might know us just as the Dirk and Muriel who moved to Costa Rica thanks to their online business. And our online business is an umbrella for a lot of things we do. And this is just a new way that we added, and you can add again to anything you're currently doing. Besides everything that we're really proud of being able to share, we're not just affiliate marketers. We started our online programs. We're educators. We have been speaking on stages all over the world. You might see us walking around on flip-flops with dirty hair and hair like this because we live in Costa Rica on the countryside. We are very driven to help people all over the world. Since the moment we started to generate our own online income, our vision grew. Yep. How can we help people better? I believe that this new way of generating a passive income online can serve especially those who haven't succeeded yet or just want to add something new that's revolutionary. It has to do with the newest software, the newest technology, and of course with a very integrity-based specialist. And our special guest is one of those. Very integral guy. We admire him a lot. I'm really nervous somehow. Like I've done webinars a lot, but I'm like, okay, he's in the house. So we're just grateful to serve you with this information. We honor your time. We strive to keep it within the hour. Save your questions. So just type them in the chat, please. And we will be sure that Chris provides the answer, that the answer gets to you. And everyone just visualize this. If you have a big reason why, if you're done with the rat race, if you're done with trading time for money, if you want to stick with this until the end, there is information that's never shared by us before. And we're just happy to take off. First of all, I'm going to build a bridge now to introduce our special guest here. You must know that we started with a big dream in 2013, being stuck, social worker, working full time. Dirk was running his restaurant businesses for so many hours per day. Our family life was being torn apart, so much stress, so much surviving, right? Having a hard time making ends meet. When I think about it, I just get like this feeling. There is something that rocked our world. It was Chris Jones, that is our special guest. I'm working towards getting you live, Chris. We made our very first $1 commission in 2014 with his marketing system. So he is very special to us personally, because that very first $1 commission, it was not about the dollar, because what can you buy for $1, right? It was the boom door, the door that slammed open for infinite possibilities. Knowing if we can make $1 online with his revolutionary system back then in 2013, 14, 15, you know, we saw that what we wanted was possible, although everyone around us was talking us out of our dream. So this is why we're so grateful that Chris never stopped inventing new systems, and he will be here to answer a couple of questions that can serve you in showing you exactly which steps you can make to really create that freedom lifestyle with online income. And of course, a big income disclaimer, I'm just going to mention it once. If we talk about income whatsoever, you know, I wish I could give you a guarantee, but you will understand that's impossible. With everything you do, it is all about your work ethics. How coachable are you? How willingly are you to follow up the steps? But we are happy to share with you that we see results and we have a long-term vision with this. So with that being said, I can ramble on. It's time to call out Chris. Oh, and I'm going to ask you all to stay muted out so we prevent background noises. And when it's necessary, we can call you out so you have the chat. Oh, see, we're maxed out as well. So stick to your virtual seat or someone else will take it. Chris, where are you? Can you just unmute yourself and say hi? Because, I think Chris is.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. My gosh, I'm so happy you're here. I'm really nervous. I don't know why. We do these webinars all the time. I follow you. Thank you for your time, Chris.
Of course. Glad to be here, my Dutch Viking friends. I am from Minnesota, so I'm part of the Vikings over in this part of the world. So
that is awesome. Well,
yes.
It's actually really true, man. We are super happy that you are here. I was doing a big part of the introduction, but I guess you got so nervous I was not able to get in between and introduce you. But our journey online actually started with you back in the days with IPES. I truly really remember. I think there's even a sort of a video of it or a picture of it that we made that first $1 online. And the city where we used to live in the Netherlands, we moved to Costa Rica in 2018 because of what we do online and affiliate marketing. But it all started there. And I think the city was too small. The dance that we did, the happiness, because it changed everything. It changed our belief system. So forever grateful. And for us, when we saw you hopping on, I got message actually by Michael Martin, I guess. And I have to look at this. He's back. So yeah.
Love Michael. He's awesome.
Definitely. And through the years, we always stayed in touch, and so that is awesome. But you are the master here of everything, and so we are so super happy and stoked to have you here.
Yeah, we know you're super busy because you are on top of all the new development. So thank you. Thank you.
Anytime.
We're super maxed out.
Yeah, we're super maxed out. Well, that's just how it is.
So it's an honor to have you, and I ramble on for all these people here. Most of them are from the Netherlands or around the world, and we're all connected to us, mostly through the topic of affiliate marketing, and so we're always building on and on and on. Can you give us a little peek in your backstory and how you got here? And well, what is your biggest accomplishment that you're the most proud of, leading to of course, where we're going to talk about?
You know, I knew I was in trouble when you sent me a Google Doc of all the questions you were going to ask me. I was like, oh no, I'm in for a tough one today. No, it's okay. You know, my background is so interesting because I never would have thought I would have become an entrepreneur. And I grew up with an entrepreneurial family. My family owned a restaurant business their whole life. My step family is Thai. So I grew up with Thai culture in my life. My half sister is Thai. And so I grew up in a Thai grocery store, which became a Thai restaurant, which actually became the #1 Thai restaurant in the US back in 1996, I believe it was. So it was like before sushi became big in the West here. And so I just grew up with seeing what it took to have a business. And I saw how horrible it was. And, you know, you're in the restaurant business. It was so difficult. You know, I was a dishwasher, a cook, a bartender. I was everything. And when I was just 6, 7 years old. So, you know, I was like, I don't want this life. I don't want anything to do with this stuff. You know, I want a job. Like a job looked great to me, you know. And so I actually graduated high school, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And I was an athlete. I was a swimmer for many, many years. And I just wanted to be a kickboxer. I was like the guy that saw Arnold on the wall and all these superheroes. And you can kind of see it in my background. I have Arnold back there. It's just, that was my dream. So I moved to Thailand and became a professional kickboxer. And everybody thought I was crazy at the time because there was no money in it. And it was quite dangerous. And so went out there and did that for a couple of years. And then I realized I couldn't do that when I was 50. So rather than struggle and live the fighter's life, I came back to the US and went to college. I wanted to go into the FBI and be an investigator. So I studied law and criminology. And then 9/11 hit and all these jobs opened up in the government. So I got a job offer through a friend with Homeland Security and worked for the government for a couple of years. So that was different. And then I was like, man, this government stuff just isn't what they say it is, you know. It's not like TV, if you know what I mean. So, you know, after college, I dropped out of college. I became a financial advisor, I guess you would call it, a broker in Florida, Boca Raton, Florida. And I learned finance. That's where I learned about money, actually. I didn't know anything about money. And then I got into this boiler room environment and I learned how to talk to people with money. I learned how to deal with money and how it works, the economics of it all. But I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like the hustle, I guess, if you will. It was just kind of dirty to me. It was kind of grimy and gross as how the sales process worked in Wall Street. And I was just like really turned off by it. But I was really fascinated by the people who were my clients, right? The things that they did. They were entrepreneurs. So here I am coming all the way back around again, full circle, to become like attracted to this entrepreneurial thing. And so I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I don't like the person I'm becoming. So I quit, moved back to Minnesota, where I am today, and just started a business. I learned about like network marketing in the beginning and did actually quite well there because I had the determination and work ethic, right? It's not rocket science, just hard work. And, but I thought there would be an easier way. You know, I was driving from farmhouse to farmhouse to farmhouse because of where I had lived. And I found the internet. You guys, I was just lucky. I found the internet in 2004, 2005, when Google was like printing money. And I was like, man, if I can do video online, maybe I can reach more people. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. And all of a sudden people were clicking on my videos and people were buying, and I didn't even talk to them. And I'm like, this cannot be legal. How is this possibly legal? You know, I was making all this money and my family is like, are you a drug dealer? Are you an arms dealer? What are you doing? I was like, no, I'm just selling digital information products. And so I made a ton of money doing that. And through the years, I started to help other companies market their products. And then also I started building software and marketing systems for those companies. And that's how I met you guys. You know, I built a company, I guess a software which is called iPass and iPass 2, which is just a marketing system to try to make marketing a little less complex and a little bit easier. And it took off, and we helped our parent company do, gosh, we did over 220 million. It was pretty amazing. Not perfect, right? Like there was a lot of things that just didn't, it was very hard to sustain because of the financial system, in fact, that was limiting our abilities, but we did it, right? Like we found a way and we struggled and we pushed through it. And so many people were very successful, but that became my thing. I became known for like this guy who could create the software. And then I started speaking and, you know, everybody wanted to know how I did it and all this stuff. But what they didn't know is how tough and difficult and stressful it really was to actually manage all those pieces. Because when you create software, a lot of times, the financial system, which is the infrastructure that makes it all work, you guys, you have to get a piece of software from this company and you got to get an API from that company and you have to get it all to work together. And then you have to hire people to manage all of that. And everything has fees and everything has, somebody's getting a piece of something and it just keeps dwindling down your margins. And so it was very, very hard, even with iPass, because we had high margins, it was still hard to survive. Because we had this centralized platform, this financial system that was based on the PayPals, the, you know, banks and so forth. And so I remember thinking back, Derek, I remember thinking, I was like, man, someday there's going to be a better way to do this. And I didn't know when that would be. And in fact, I sold that company about 5.5 years ago, and I just walked away from the industry, everybody. I left. I was burnt out. And it wasn't until recently, about 1.5 years ago, I learned about financial technology and fintech and blockchain. And I was like, this is the answer I was praying for 10 years ago. And I just tripled down on it. I saw where people were going to go. I saw the things it fixed. And here we are today talking about it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it brings us here to well, the new thing is energy, and it's
Right.
well known also for everyone here. We it definitely got our focus. Like I said, Michael Martin or John Ogden, of course, we always stay connected, and it's so nice. It's so awesome because it goes all the way back to that time, and those were fun times. And but over the years, what we noticed, we always got, stayed with affiliate marketing, and we created our own coaching and small courses. And well, I really recognize what you say with on a smaller scale with all the fees and merchants and APIs, and then that doesn't work, and then you haven't figured it out, and then that crashes. So, but that is the connection with these people. But now then, NRGY came along, and how is that different? How is I mean, not everybody is familiar with. I was not even like, I'm still studying here. It's like, wow, what is all possible? And every week I have a new aha moment, like, wow, this is possible. So how is this, even if in the newbies and the thing with NRGY and INFTs, and how does that all work? And how is that different from the old model?
So I'm going to keep this as simple and elementary as I can, because it's the way my brain kind of works. Okay. I can't take credit for any of this. I can't, because there's some really smart people behind the scenes that do this. Okay. And it's taken me months and months to figure this out and to understand it. Just like you, there is a learning curve because it's a big departure from what we're used to, right? It's not the norm. But when you start to understand, okay, what does decentralized mean? What does blockchain really do for us, right? What is cryptography all about? Because we always focus on crypto or cryptocurrency, and everybody's talking about coins, but that is so insignificant. Okay. And I always tell people, when I sold iPass, I left because, truth be told, this is 100% the truth, I wanted to feel like Tony Stark every day. I want to feel like Iron Man, right? Like I wanted to build cool stuff with technology. And whether that was augmented reality, virtual reality, whatever, I spent so much money in doing this. And right in front of my face was this financial technology on blockchain that offered us this ability, you guys, to do things that we've never done before, because we've always had to go through a PayPal. We'd always had to go through a centralized bank and deal with monies between them. And that really limits your ability. And I'll explain to you how. The best way I can explain this, the easiest way, is in business, right? We have to deal with money. We transact, currencies go back and forth. But the problem is there's people from all over the world. So it becomes very difficult to do that. And it becomes very difficult to automate that process. You can't. you have to have software, and that software takes money in and it says, okay, here's where the taxes go, and here's where this fee goes, right? And this person should get this much because they referred someone. And you have all these different things kind of trying to talk to each other, and they just don't do it well. Okay. With decentralized finance, or DeFi as we call it, it opens up the doors to possibilities we've never had before. Because now, Dirk, if you send somebody to a website and they buy something, through blockchain and smart contracts, it can automatically send you the money, right? You don't have to worry about going through me first, me paying taxes on the money and fees on the money and dealing with refunds, and then going to somebody else, another centralized party who takes their cut, and then back to you 30 days later, which makes it really hard for you to make money because you got to wait for that money, right? So if you're doing advertising or you're marketing, like that's bill pay money, that's real-time money. So it just shortened the gap, the time span. It was something that you could always follow all the way along through. You didn't have to worry about where your money was in the process, right? So the first thing that I saw was, wow, we have a financial system that we can control now. We can do so many new things. And so there's really three parts to this whole thing of energy. And just so you know how I got into it, I was just like, okay, I need into fintech. I need to learn. And so I traveled to the Philippines, where I actually met my fiance. It's just so happens to be. And I was there for about a year, and I was working with these financial people, these technology people, trying to kind of find my way in, right? Because I was not a blockchain expert. I was a software guy. I was a marketing expert trying to fit myself into that puzzle. Okay. And I just happened to meet some really smart people. And one of the guys, Alan, was one of the creators and architects behind NRGY, which is a DeFi financial product that he's been building. Now, he's been building this thing for over 6 years. He's been working on it and iterating it. And when I met him, I was like, wait a minute, could I do this? Yes. Could I do this? Could we do this with this? Yes, that's what it's built for. And so we just clicked. We were just like, wow, here's a technology that's never been seen before. I have the front end skills. I can bring the benefit of helping people use this in the real world, right? And so we just connected and started building NRGY together, and kind of forming this infrastructure for marketers and people and your neighbor and anybody to be able to benefit from, right? And so it came down to three things. For me, it was all about these three things to make all of this possible. One is a financial system, okay? That financial system has blockchain, which blockchain makes things efficient. It goes onto blockchain, it's trackable, you can trace it, you can see everything that happens, right? It doesn't go onto servers and deal with APIs and data loss. You don't have to worry about it. So blockchain makes everything super fast and super efficient. And then you have the decentralized nature of this, and all that means, I know it's kind of a weird word, it's like, what does decentralized really mean? But it just means that we don't have to go through a PayPal. We don't have to go through these central bank systems, right, that take all these cuts, right? Because blockchain allows us to do that. So now we can be our own bank, essentially, right? Like we can control everything. And the third piece is the cryptography, which makes it safe, which makes it secure. Cryptography has been around for a long time. It started from the CIA. It was just, now you see it in cryptocurrency, right? But now if you use it in software, it makes things very secure and safe. You can't hack it, right? So you have this financial system that's amazing, that allows us to do things because of those three components in there, okay? Now, obviously, you have currency as well. You have cryptocurrencies, and NRGY has two different currencies in it because that's how we need to transact things. So we have NRGY on Ethereum, and we have NRGY on Binance Smart Chain. And all that is just a way for people to use our currency within this new platform. And I'll get into that, of how that works. All right. So you have this financial system, which is the core. You have to have that in place in order for us to be all successful, right? It tells the money where to go, how to go, when to go, what to do, and it all automates all of that. And I never have to touch the money. I never have to take the risk, and I never have to worry about, is somebody getting what they should? Okay. Now that you have that, the second layer is technology. What is the actual technology that is so special here? And that to me was the most important thing. And the best way I can explain this is, you guys, you can spend all your time building one company. You can spend all your energy and all your knowledge into building that one company that you hope to take off. Okay. I've did it for years. It's very scary. It's risky, right? Either it takes off or it doesn't. There's really no halfway. Okay. It's a risk. That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We risk things. And the problem with that is that I've saw is sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And you have to be able to weather that storm. And if you have families and things, it's very, very difficult. My epiphany came when I said, instead of trying to build one company or one idea, what if I could make a piece off of everybody's idea, right? What if I had a chance to help everybody's idea and I could get just a piece of that, right? In a way that was not network marketing or any of that stuff. It didn't require recruiting or anything, but it was just the ability for people's ideas to be put into a place where we could all benefit. Okay, connect consumer and the creator and all that stuff. And so that is the underlying technology, which we call Infinity NFTs, or, you know, you've heard the word NFT out there and I can share with you what that is. But this technology allows somebody with a great idea, a book, a podcast, a YouTube channel, a construction technology, an invention of some sort, to be able to create it, put it on this financial system that we built, and for us all to benefit from that. Okay, so I don't know if you want me to go into NFTs real quick, but that is the heart of what we do.
Well, maybe the basics. I think I also shared the video that you created about the difference between INFTs and NFTs, but it's basically about intellectual property that you can digitize, right, and put it on
Right.
and sell it. But with INFTs, it's not that the INFT gets more valuable, but it pays out the royalty. So you have sort of
Right.
instant income. Is that right?
Yes, you're very correct. So an NFT, or non-fungible token, is this hot thing right now. And the reason it's hot is, for the first time, you can take a digital picture and you can prove that it has ownership, right? So I can say, hey, I own the original Picasso of this digital picture. And you have, it's on blockchain, it's certified. And because you own that only one, maybe there's one in the world, maybe there's 5 or whatever, because you own that, that has value, and that's stored on blockchain. So now I could sell that to someone else, or I could trade that or auction it, or however I want. Until this time, we just take screenshots of stuff, right? Or I do anyway. And that's just how it is. But it's not the original, right? It's not like me going to the museum and taking a screenshot of the Mona Lisa or something. I don't own the Mona Lisa. But in this world now, with non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, we can digitize or tokenize digital intellectual property. Super cool technology. It's amazing. It's going to change the world, you guys. It is so significant, because until this time, there was no way to certify ownership of this digital stuff, whether that's music or pictures or anything. The difference between what we do and what traditional NFTs that are popular today is, we're an NFT, but we give access to a staking contract that produces royalties. And all that means is, say, hey, if you have a picture, you can either have this picture, own the only one, and have the value, and maybe it'll go up in value over time, right? But with Infinity NFTs, you can still own that picture. Maybe there's only 1 or 10 or 100 of these pictures, but if that picture makes money, makes licensing revenue all around the internet, it's used on websites or using commercials or something. If that picture produces money, you can receive royalties from that intellectual property. Does that make sense? Like, same with music. So if a song, you could own a song with an NFT, but with an Infinity NFT, if that song is played on the radio, if it's played in commercials, you can earn royalties from that one piece of music. So now it gives you the opportunity to earn off of these great things that we like.
Yeah, that is awesome. I think what my aha moment was in the missing piece. So let's say I like the idea of let's say you have a restaurant, you have a recipe, a special dish. I can make intellectual property of that. People can stake or invest in my dish, and every time I sell the dish in the restaurant, a royalty comes free. But as a restaurant owner, or the intellectual property owner, they can benefit because they create instant cash flow.
Instant cash, correct.
But that is, so the circle is round, and that was for me a aha moment, because the business owner, the intellectual property owner, gets cash flow. He pays out royalties when he sells a dish, and that is of course depending on the contract, very small or very big. But then the circle is round, because I, as a consumer or interested in energy, I can see, hey, that INFT pays out a lot of royalties. Hey, you know what? I put some energy in there. I stake it, and then the circle keeps round and round. That was for me the aha moment. That was the most simplest way I could.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's very relevant. It can be relevant in any industry, right? So if you look at energy, the financial system is like Apple computers, right? It's like Apple. It's all the accounting. It's all the infrastructure, okay? And the INFTs are like the iPhone, the App Store, the apps within the App Store. Okay. And the cool thing about what we built is instead of us being a company, I don't own NRGY. I'm not an owner. I'm just contributing to it. I own a lot of NRGY coins because I believe in it. Okay. Just like you and many others. But the cool thing is if you have 25 NRGY coins in your wallet and you're staking that, okay, you can make a piece 20% of all the INFTs and all the dApps, just like Apple makes 30% of every app that goes in their app store. That's why they're valued at what they are. Okay. Instead of it being an Apple and centralized, we're decentralized. So we, as the people that believe in this, if you have 25 coins, you can make a piece of all of this IP. Like I said, you can get a piece of everybody's idea. And we've got some amazing, amazing pieces of intellectual property coming. So to me, that was the model, is to create like an Apple infrastructure that wasn't given to just a company, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that blew my mind. So actually what you were saying right now is that with the INFTs, somebody is able to make it's a no-brainer to have 25 NRGY stake, because that opens the doors to all the royalties and all the good stuff. But actually you're created a passive income, because
yes,
you don't have to do anything. Basically, you just stake and you stay updated and do your thing. Now, this is a part where most of our audiences also, oh, you guys do affiliate marketing. So I think that brings us to CyberCity, and CyberCity's up to now. It's like, oh, CyberCity is coming. It's like
yeah.
it's, and I'm super excited because I get the idea. So where does CyberCity comes in, and how can people benefit from CyberCity? What is it? What can it do? Makes sense.
Okay, so that brings us into like this third piece of this whole puzzle. The first is the financial system, the Apple behind this. Okay, the company, essentially, it's kind of like a company, it functions in that way. And then you have the technology, which is the Infinity NFTs, and it allows YouTubers and anybody that has intellectual property to come here and put it onto this financial system, right, to earn staking revenue from the fans and music and all this kind of stuff. That app is called Star Stake, okay, where you can actually go and invest into all this intellectual property, your favorite music, to anything. It's just unlimited. We got construction projects, all this cool stuff, okay? The third piece of this, now we can have all the greatest intellectual property and the best financial system, but how do we get it out there? Right? How do we share it to the world? And that's always been the case for me. I come from a marketing background. So I always think of that. Like, I always think you can have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, what are you going to do? Right? And us as marketers, if we can be the first to get something out there, there's a huge opportunity too in that. So to me, right when we started building and working on NRGY, I was like, okay, what's our distribution model? What is the distribution mechanism to get all this great stuff out there? And how can we all win? And so to me, it was like, okay, we got to teach people about this. This is not something as normal. It's so new. And trust me, in 5-10 years, it's going to be everywhere. Okay. But right now we have to teach people, and we have to run them kind of through, like, a walk them, handhold them through the process of understanding, like, what do I do? How does this work? And so CyberCity was just a platform, an application that I wanted to create on top of NRGY, to be able to show people this great world of INFTs and decentralized finance and all the opportunities. And if people want to build their own dApps on NRGY, they can do that. And if you want to invest and so forth. So CyberCity is just an application put on top of NRGY. Okay, it uses the financial system, but it's a financial marketing tool, because you as a marketer, instead of trying to explain this like I am attempting to do to you now, you can just send somebody to CyberCity. It's free. They just log in with their wallet, and they'll go through a series of steps. And I'll actually show you guys some screenshots of this if you want. If I can,
Let me take it.
Real quick, I'm going to try not to confuse you, but it's kind of cool. Right. So the premise is just to, so you can just send everybody you know here, and they can learn about it. They can find out, okay, well, how do I transact? Well, you use something called NRGY Go. NRGY Go is our transaction coin. It's kind of like my son. I have a 9.5-year-old son. He plays Fortnite, and he's always like, "Dad, can I get some V-Bucks?" I'm like, "Son, what are V-Bucks?" Like, I'm an idiot when it comes to stuff, but it's this currency he uses in the game to buy cool stuff, right? So he can look cool and have better advantages. And so for his birthdays and things, I get him V-Bucks because that's what he wants. It's more important than $1 to him. I want you to think about that, right? Like he would rather have V-Bucks than he would a $5, $10, $100 bill. A $100 bill means nothing to him, to a 9-year-old. What matters is the currency that is applicable to him, which is in his game world, right? Which to me, I embrace that because that's the world we live in. So he can take those V-Bucks and spend them on things and enjoy them how he wants. It doesn't have to be a new bike. It doesn't have to be anything else. So in our world, in energy in CyberCity, we have a currency called NRGY. That's what we use. It's the same as a dollar or using regular currency. Because remember, we built the financial system. So CyberCity is just this cool way for you to bring your neighbors, your friends in here and say, hey, learn about this amazing technology. We've got all this cool stuff you can invest in. And it can be, there's no maximum, there's no minimum, right? Like if you like a YouTube channel, my fiance is a musician in Asia, and she's got her first song coming out with an INFT, and all her fans can stake in the song and they get cool rewards and stuff from that. So anyways, it's just a portal for you to learn about this. The cool part about it is how we decided to pay affiliates on this. Okay. This is really, really important. I want you to, if you're affiliate marketers here, this is going to ring a bell with you. As an affiliate marketer myself, somebody who's kind of come up through this whole industry over the years, it's really important about making money up front. Would you guys agree with that? Right? Like
Absolutely.
We all love the passive stuff. Okay. But if you're not making money today, it makes it hard to survive. It makes it hard to pay for advertising or pay for scaling or learning, whatever it is. So I wanted to create CyberCity with a way that pay people fast, using smart contracts and even using INFTs in the process. Okay. So I'll show you how that works. So hopefully you guys can follow me here. Not a lot of people have seen this yet, by the way. Actually, nobody has seen what I'm about to show you. All right. So this is one of the illustrations from one of the user interface developers on CyberCity. So all that's going to happen is people will come here, and obviously these videos aren't what's going to be here, but they're just placeholders. But you'll come into CyberCity and there'll be a 4-step process, okay? And so I want you to think with your marketer hats right now. I want you to think of the opportunity that this will present to you and how making money will happen. So somebody will come into this site, you just invite them for free. They come here, they set up their account, they put in their email address and so forth. They'll come here, there'll be a video on how all this works. I'll bring them through a tour of CyberCity and all the cool stuff that's in here. Okay, now you can't go anywhere but these 4 videos. This is like the orientation process. So to unlock CyberCity, you have to make a choice. You do have to buy something, and I'll share with you how that works. Okay, so then you'll come through here, you learn all about it. And then the next thing is you'll fund your wallet with energy. So basically, actually what will happen before this is you'll have to buy cryptocurrency. So we made a partnership with Simplex. Simplex is a merchant that decentralized merchant that allows us to now take crypto cash payments through our website using their system, right? Because that's the one thing that's left still. If people need to buy cryptocurrency like Ethereum, typically they have to go to an external site, right? You got to go to an exchange or something. It's just how the laws are built. It's how the regulations are, okay? The cool thing is we don't have to send people. So if you have a credit card or a debit card, you can come right on here. You can actually use our system right on this page. And that's what this will be, okay? So you can buy, $100, $500, $10 worth of cryptocurrency right inside CyberCity. Once you do that, then you're going to swap that for NRGY or NRGY. Typically, it'll be NRGY. We do have a couple new announcements coming here soon about this, but you won't have to go anywhere else. Typically, again, you'd have to go to a couple other sites to swap it for our coin. You won't have to. You'll be able to do it right through our bridge, right on our site. Super easy. Again, what this is going to do is create those V-Bucks. All right, just like my son's game, you're going to use your cash money and turn it into a currency that you can use on all these INFTs and all this cool stuff. So you'll do that right here, and you say, okay, I'm going to fund my wallet. It'll show your balance in the upper right-hand corner. Say, okay, you got 6,743 energy or whatever it is, or NRGY. Okay, wouldn't that be nice?
Yep.
And then after you do that, you'll be able to go to a place, and this is where you're going to see the different packages. So you'll have 3 different choices to enter CyberCity, kind of like an access pass. Now, if you're familiar with websites that are membership websites, like typically you'll pay like per month to get access to content. This is different. There is no login. There is no username. Remember, this is decentralized. So only thing you use is your MetaMask wallet. So as long as you have the extension in your browser, you don't have to give personal data. You don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, so now that you're here, there's 3 different access passes, and these are 3 different INFTs. So I created 3 INFTs for CyberCity. One is called a staker, one is called a net runner, and one is called a creator. A staker is just somebody who wants to learn about DeFi, wants to learn about INFTs, who wants to learn about making money in that world. It's $100, and that's it. It's a one-time, you buy the INFT, and then you own the royalty contract to all the information and sales that come from that product. Typically in affiliate marketing, it would be like, I sell you $100 membership site, right? And maybe it pays out 50% or 30% or something like that. This is different. This is not a membership. You're actually getting access. You're owning the resale rights and the royalties to the staker package, okay? To the royalties that come from this. And that includes education, the tools, the resources, the dashboard, all the cool stuff, right? So that's $100. From there, you can do the net runner. And so people can come through here and they could say, hey, I want to learn about marketing this stuff. How do I market CyberCity? How do I make money? Because the cool thing about these packages, and the second one is, I believe it's $1,000. And the third one, the creators, how do you create your own INFTs? How do you create your own applications on NRGY? That is, I believe, $2,000. So whenever the sale happens, 50% of that goes to you. So the way I set it up is I wanted you, the marketers, to get a majority of the royalties from these sales. So if somebody stakes $100 into the $100 INFT, $50 goes right into your wallet. Okay. The net runner, if somebody stakes $1,000, $500 goes instantly to you, like instantly. I never, ever touch the money. Nobody ever touches the money. It goes into blockchain and out of blockchain. Okay. And the same thing with the creator. So if that's $2,000, you get $1,000 instantly. If somebody buys all 3, right? Like that's over what, $1,600 instantly right into your wallet. That's just, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to deal with anything. It's automatic, built into the blockchain and smart contract. Okay. As soon as you decide to do that, and here's actually one of the pages that shows, it'll show the INFT. So let's say this is staker to show how many people are staking this INFT. Obviously all this information will be updated, but it'll just show all the stats for that. It'll show what you get access to, all these cool things. And once you do that, and I can't show you on the left, but it unlocks all these other pages, which is your resources, your new website, your education, your learning center. It updates a dashboard for you. I can show you the new dashboard. Right.
It looks amazing.
So you have this new dashboard where you can manage all of these different INFTs and what your energy rewards are, your energy go, and all these different things. You'll get access to that once you get into CyberCity. So the whole idea of CyberCity is, yes, there's a fee because it's intellectual property. Like all this stuff took a lot of time to create. And so for $100, you unlock everything. Okay, now for $1,000, you unlock the marketing piece, which is really the tools and the resources to go out there and market CyberCity, to get people here, the funnels, all those kinds of resources. And again, remember, every time somebody stakes that you send there, right, that's 50% goes to you, plus another 15% of all that staking revenue. 15% kind of goes into a pool and it's distributed through everybody. It's a royalty contract. Okay, so you're sharing in all the royalties from that specific product, staker, net runner, or creator. Okay, so it's a little bit, I know it's different than traditional affiliate marketing, but you just have to think, instead of marketing a product, you're actually marketing the intellectual property of what is DeFi. Like the staking is all about what is DeFi, what is the INFT world, and so forth. Does that make sense? Hopefully I didn't lose you.
No, I was telling you, and one question in between. So to share in that pool, you need to have a minimum of energy staked, or is everybody who has access to CyberCity sharing in that pool?
So it depends on which INFT that you purchased, right? So for example, if go back here, if I stake the staker INFT, I'm automatically put into the staking contract. So I share in all those royalties from that. If I'm a net runner, I share from that. Those are 3 different ones. Okay. So if you don't have one of those INFTs, then you won't get the royalties from it.
Makes sense. And what is the Cyber Alliance Club?
All right. So the Cyber Alliance Club was probably, you remember the Black Card Club? I know you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
you still have your black?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, though, because it will rust here, but we kept it safe.
We kept it.
Okay. So for some context for everybody watching, one of the greatest successes I've ever had, believe it or not, and it still surprises me to this day, was we created a club called the Black Card Club in a previous software that we built. And it was a loyalty club. So basically, whenever somebody bought all the products in that company, we gave out a black card. And this black card was a metal card. It was, it had no function at the time. It was beautiful. It looked cool. I even tried to pay for, I think, a beer one time at a bar. It was pretty funny. Obviously didn't work. Bartender's like, your card's not working. But it was fun. So, but we built these cards because people wanted to be part of something. And so to get people to say, hey, I want to commit, I want to go all in on this vision, this company, this product, this whole thing that we're doing here, we have what's called a black card. And we do events every 3 months where we just take care of people. We just have fun. We do learning things, whatever it was. We'd have these amazing parties. It was unbelievable. Rented out stadiums and so forth in these different cities around the country. And to me, that was the greatest success we ever had, because to this day, so many people still have those cards. And we're talking 5 years ago. And it's because we all felt part of something, and people want to have something that's kind of greater than themselves. So this is no exception. So we're putting this same kind of modality into here, which is called Cyber Alliance Club. So if you stake all 3 of these INFTs, right, the staker, the net runner, and the creator, you become part of the Cyber Alliance Club. And it's going to work very much the same. The cool part is we're going to have our own debit card this time. So it's a functional card where you actually be able to put your NRGY on the card and actually pay for a beer, pay for, bills or whatever you want to do. So it won't just be a metal card that looks pretty. So the Cyber Alliance Club is just for people that are completely committed to this, that want to be part of this world. And whenever we do events, I do plan on doing events a couple times a year called CyberCon. And why that's important is because it really is the glue that brings people together, because this is the perfect model. You guys, this is the best model for live events. And here's why. Imagine for a second, okay, you come into CyberCity and you pay, let's just say you pay the $100 and you get access to this marketplace of INFTs, because that's what opens up. You'll be able to go up to, actually there'll be a marketplace tab on the left, and you'll be able to see music, you'll be able to see YouTube channels, podcasts, all kinds of INFTs, and you'll be able to shop and stake them. You can do whatever you want, build your portfolio there. And the cool thing is every INFT can be marketed. So it's like having unlimited amount of products. So if you like a song from somebody, an artist, you can actually market that song, right? They have a funnel for that song, and you can get a piece. Maybe their affiliate program is 10% of the song staking that comes in, or it could be anything, you guys. So it's an unlimited resource of intellectual property for us to market. As marketers, it's a dream come true, okay? And so imagine on an event side, we could have an event every 3 months. And every 3 months, you could have these keynotes from these brand new INFT creators. It could be this major celebrity. It could be a YouTube star sharing about their new YouTube plans. And you can stake right there in the room for this new YouTube channel. And remember, if you stake, if you're the first one to stake in that, anybody that stakes after that, you're going to make a piece of that too, right? So it's the perfect model every 3 months to do events, because there's always new intellectual property. We've got this guy who's coming, he's building this floating city in Dubai. Guy's unbelievable. He's built floating villas and things, and he's creating an INFT. And the cool thing about that is you don't have to invest in the property now. So he's got these $7 million starting villas. They're beautiful. They're like Ferrari, Bugatti villas. But now you can invest in the INFT of the technology that's used to build this floating city and these floating villas. So now you can get a piece of every property that he ever builds using this technology because of what we have. So imagine that at events. It's just, we have so many awesome things with this. And that's why Cyber Alliance is what it is, to bring everybody together.
Amazing. I'm actually like speechless. Dirk was really into all the details. We're both mind blown. I'm like more like the newbie of the two of us. I think representing a lot of the people who are here at this webinar. I see some questions coming in, so we would love to reserve a couple of your valuable time to go through them. But before we do that, just one burning question that I would have as a newbie. Now I'm a seasoned marketer, but I feel also like a newbie with all these terms and NFTs. I'm like, okay, so I would love to hear this as a newbie and a seasoned marketer. You already touched on it, but still, what is your long-term vision with this? Because before I would decide to go with this, like I would, yeah. What is your long-term vision?
My long-term vision, it's pretty simple. My mission is just to create a better financial system for entrepreneurs to be successful. And I say that because it's so hard already. And I've been working. So when I sold iPass, just so you know, I worked on my own company, Generation Hero. It was a passion of mine. I built a mental health initiative. I spoke on stage with Gary Vee. Like I did all this stuff. Built all this intellectual property to help entrepreneurs with their lifestyle dynamics, help them manage their marriage, help them manage their relationships, and be a great entrepreneur at the same time. Because it's so hard, you guys, it's so hard. And nobody teaches this stuff. So I built all this intellectual property and I was ready to launch it. And I was like, I can't just launch a course. That wasn't good enough for me because I knew that most people don't finish courses, right? And I didn't want to have affiliates marketing because I didn't want to deal with what we dealt with iPass, right? Like merchant accounts and affiliate tracking. And I didn't want to go down that road again. And so I said, how can I work so hard on all this intellectual property and launch it in a system that's broken, right? To me, the rocket was broken. Like Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. He's like, the rocket's broken. We have to build better rockets. The economics just don't work. The same thing here. For me, my long-term vision was just to create a better economic model for us all to win. And I don't mean just energy. Energy is great. And I don't mean just CyberCity. That's kind of just my baby. But I mean what your ideas are, the products, your courses, your coaching, your YouTube, like to create a better system for you to put it on it, for you to thrive and for your fans to be able to be attached. Because that's the one thing I will tell you that the killer in me about marketing is the loyalty. There is no loyalty, right? Like your fans one day are your fans and the next day they're promoting something else. It's capitalism 101. And that's just the world we live in. Yep. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? Look at people that love iPhones. They love Apple for the ecosystem it is, and Apple can mess up over and over, and they have, but people stay there, right? And so for me is to bring the fans of these great products and services that we use together to where we have a vested interest in the success of that brand, of the success of, in my case, Generation Hero. So when I launched my book, when I launched this whole ecosystem of my own stuff, is I want the fans to be so proud of that they go out there and share it and they get a piece of the whole pie. I was never able to do that before. Like with iPass, like I own the iPass company. I made the money. You know, you guys were marketers. You made your own commissions. There was no connection, right? If I decided to sell the company and leave, you guys were left looking for something else to do.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Right. And that's the way it's always been in any company. Whereas this way you can have a stake in the whole piece. Mm-hmm. Right. And so to me, it connects consumer and creators together in ways it never has. And I think we can make a little bit of a dent doing that. So
I love this long-term vision. It's, in my thought, win-win, finally giving back. It is something that we were looking for all along. Yeah. Since we're successful affiliate marketers, yeah, we mastered some skills, but this is filling the gap of where we could not help a group of people. We're not there yet. So, wow, thank you for this explanation, taking the time.
Yeah, I see a lot of questions coming in. I'm not
sure. Them.
You have time for that too?
Yeah, shoot, go ahead.
Okay.
The biggest burning question is, and that's also an important call to action, like what you can do next. I'm gonna let that up to you, how to explain what can people do when they want to get started. That's the biggest burning question.
So today, your call to action today is going to be different than it is in 30, 60 days from now, because it is so early. Everybody watching this, you're learning about this before some of this is being released. So the first phase was getting the financial system up, right? Minting the coins for NRGY and NRGY. NRGY is just the staking coin. So if you want a piece of the whole pie, if you want to be kind of a piece of Apple, that's where you can stake NRGY. If you stake 25 coins in NRGY, you're able to make the 20% from all these INFTs when they start to come out. Okay, now they're not out yet.
Also from CyberCity.
From CyberCity, everything, right? So a percentage of all the CyberCity revenue is going to come into NRGY stakeholders. So it is such a huge time, big time to be able to stake those coins now while it's undervalued, because the world doesn't really know we exist much yet. And that's by design. We did that on purpose. And so to get those coins, and then to also get the NRGY coins, if you have the means to, they're very, very inexpensive. And those are the transactions, those are the V-Buck coins, right? And so to be able to get those, because those have transaction rewards attached to them. So I want you to think about this, like every time somebody buys an INFT for anything, or CyberCity for that matter, there's a transaction that happens, right? Whenever somebody buys a coin, uses the coin, buys a t-shirt, whatever, 2% of that goes back to us, right? Not to a company or anything like that. It's kind of like an ATM fee. Every time it's used, you got to pay that little fee. It's the same thing. So as long as you have NRGY in your wallet, you can make a percentage of those transaction fees, and they're going to add up very quickly. So the call to action would be to get those 2 coins and just stake what you can, hold on to them, because in the next, I will say in October is when Star Stake launches. So Star Stake is the marketplace for all these INFTs. The first batch of INFTs will be coming out. And then CyberCity is coming just shortly after that in late October. Okay, so you'll be able to be kind of set up now and start to learn now, start to share things now and make some money before kind of the big hit goes.
So before Dirk is going to touch on a very a burning question of someone, everyone thinking, where do I go now for more information? No matter if you refer to this meeting by us or by someone else, we have a Telegram group. We are integrity based, where we will be.
So basically, I just posted a link in the chat. I think that is the most easiest way. There you will find the general videos about energy. There's also a video of Chris on that page of explaining INFTs and NFTs, but you also find a button that brings you to a simple page with step-by-step instructions, and another button to our Telegram group. And if you want my support, help you to get ready, to get staked, of other questions, maybe after this webinar, you think, oh, I wanted to ask that, come to the Telegram group and you can always ask me there. I think that is the best way. If you are invited by somebody else, no worries, you can also come to the group, but make sure, to tell me and that you use the other person's link. That's just fair, and that's awesome. So that being said, just follow that link. If you missed it, it will be also on YouTube, it will be Facebook, you'll see the link, or else message me or Muriel, because we're connected anyway. So that is, I think, the best way to do.
Sophie, let's go from the end to
front.
Awesome. So Sophie is asking, because that's what just Chris touched on, what is 25 energy coins in dollars right now? That is, of course, that would be something that I would ask right now.
I can answer that. I just sneaked in.
Oh, good.
So that will be to have 25 energy stake, you need 34 energy to stake, because of the 25% that goes back into the community builder as a reward, and that will be $4,200 or roughly 3,600 euros. Many European people here, so
right now at this moment.
At this moment.
Yeah.
And if the price goes up to 1,000, you have like 33,000. So
yeah, it's as soon as I would say, people ask me, and I'll just touch on this because I know this question will come up, is what is the price of energy going to be? Like, Chris, can you tell me what you think it's going to be? And of course, I can't predict the future. I wish I could, but I can't. And from someone who has a lot of energy coins myself, I bought them just like everyone else. I can't tell you where it's going, but I can tell you what we're doing. And if that's an indicative of where we're going, then that's the truth. So what we have being built with CyberCity and all these INFTs, remember, all it takes is one INFT to be popular or semi-popular, right, with our community, and people to start staking that INFT. You're going to see energy go up, because what it does, it squeezes the supply of energy. So whenever people buy NRGY, whenever they stake in these INFTs, the supply of energy goes down. And that creates the value to go up. And there's a very limited supply of the energy coin. And there's a reason for that. You know, it's not one of those meme coins that you see like Dogecoin that has billions and billions of coins. There's only 4.3 million coins. And the only time they're ever minted is when somebody stakes. So when you go to stake energy coin, it mints that coin. It puts it into circulation. That's the only time. So this coin is going to get squeezed. And over time, it's probably going to take maybe 1 or 2 INFTs, and we'll see this thing really skyrocket up. We've already almost hit $1,000 before. I believe personally, I think, in my opinion, it could be in the tens of thousands very quickly, just based on the economic. I'm just talking about the math, okay? Based on all these other autonomous INFTs coming into play here, not based on us marketing it or hyping it up like you see other coins. It's based on the economic model, okay?
Super awesome. And Michael Martin, I just see he's on apparently. And yeah, he's talking about the minting rewards. Yeah, there's definitely up to 4% minting rewards on the amount you stake.
Yep.
Rule asks, will there be an unlimited NRGY coins?
So there's not an unlimited amount, but there is a high amount. So NRGY is paired with energy. Okay, so there's 10 billion NRGY coins, and that's why they're very inexpensive. They're fractions of a penny per coin because it's a transaction coin. It's what you're going to use to buy things, t-shirts, and so forth. And so there's a lot higher supply there. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different coin compared to energy on Ethereum.
So I got a question of that. So if somebody wants to get active with CyberCity, and let's say any level, you do that with NRGY. Right? Is that a dollar amount of NRGY or you paid in US?
All right. So this was just, I'm going to kind of get myself in a little bit of trouble here. So we just enhanced this whole model. So a big part of, our transaction coin, if you are correct, if you want to buy the INFT in any case or CyberCity, you use NRGY. All right. The problem with NRGY is it does fluctuate, right? Like it's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's very fluid, right? The liquidity goes up and down, which is how we want it to. The thing is when you get a royalties from an INFT or a payment, perhaps, if you're paid in NRGY, we don't want you to have the chance of it going down, right? If you make $1,000 commission in a royalty and all of a sudden it's worth $500 tomorrow because the price went down, that's no good, right? So because of the super smart people, the engineers behind this, we're actually creating a version of like what you'll see in the V-Bucks. These are paired with the US dollar. So it locks in the price of your NRGY on a certificate basis. So basically what'll happen is you'll use, I don't know the name of it yet, I can't share it with you, but it'll be our own currency, like certificate, like V-Bucks in our platform, but it's basically NRGY, but it's stabilized and it's locked in with the US dollar. It can never go higher than the US dollar. Okay, so whenever you use it, because otherwise, if you were paying for CyberCity, right, if it was $1,000, you know how many NRGY coins would be like, 1 million plus energy or almost 1 million NRGY coins. Okay, so it's hard to do the math. This way, you can say it's $1,000 US dollars or 1,000 V-Bucks, as we could call it, right, which has an equal value because it's built with NRGY. Does that make sense? It's just to make it easy to understand. Otherwise, you get into these millions of numbers and things. So yes, you will use NRGY, but it's going to be a digital currency in our own platform that's just easy.
Awesome.
And stable.
I immediately see the question popping up. What is V-Bucks? V-Bucks is just an imaginary something else, just as an example. So yeah, put it out of your mind. But it's awesome. It's always so hard to scroll through that.
Yeah, remember everyone, every question that won't be answered, you will be able to ask it in the Telegram group that we have for you. But Dirk is scrolling through some other questions.
So all I have to do is to start to log into CyberCity and I'm all in. CyberCity will be launched end of October, correct? October. Yep. So the thing to do now, Sophie, is to get started and stake your energy. And the best position you can have is 25 energy and a whole bunch of NRGY. Am I correct?
Yeah. This is what we have done.
Yeah.
And
So, and Wessel asked, so how can I get started? Just follow the link at the bottom of the chat. That comes to the page where you find all the instructions and the link to our Telegram group for more support if you have questions. And let the system do the telling. Guess who that said? Michael Martin.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so hi Chris. So my girlfriend is also like an upcoming artist. I'm a little bit like your girlfriend, I believe. And I was wondering, for example, royalties from Spotify, if she's gonna get an INFT, how is that gonna work?
So it's just every contract is different. Okay. So if she's a music artist, depending if she owns her music or who, if she's, goes through a record label or whatever, it's built into the contract. So when she creates her own INFT, she'll say, okay, in the contract, these are the royalties, this is the licensing revenue that comes in. It's all built right into that. Because remember, everything is a legal contract in this, just like anything else. Okay. It's binding that way. So it's just up to her how she wants to work that. If she wants to pay out royalties from Spotify, which typically isn't very much, right? So it's not something to worry about. It's very small. Okay. So you could say, okay, it could come from merchandise. It could come from other licensing, such as advertising or used in other licensing, if it's used in YouTube videos or something, right? So you can decide that when she creates it, depending on her model.
Yeah, we talk about that with, well, we didn't receive the contract yet, but because they were still working on it. All right. And one other question, why Ethereum? Why is that used as a Ethereum? Why is that used as a?
So NRGY is built on the Ethereum blockchain because it's the best one for this application. It's built for it, right? Because we can keep building on top of it. The NRGY Go coin is built on Binance Smart Chain because of the fees are much lower. It's a transactional coin, and you don't want to have crazy gas fees. But NRGY itself is built on Ethereum because of stability and so forth.
Okay.
Yep.
And sorry, one last question is, what do you think about the concurrency on the market? Because I was talking with one other colleague about, the cryptocurrency and stuff, and they also mentioned royalties. And I thought NRGY was the first one, but I don't know.
It's different in which application you're talking about royalties, right? So there's royalties to the creator. Almost every every NFT platform that's out there has some kind of royalty program for the creator, right? So if I create something as an IP holder, I can get royalties if that asset is resold, right? So if I have a digital picture, and I put it on OpenSea, right, and it sells to someone, I can make money. But if it's resold, I can get royalties on every resale as the owner. What you can't do until now with INFTs is get royalties as a consumer, right? As an investor in intellectual property, I can get royalties on construction project, technology to music. So it's really for the investor more than the creator.
Super awesome, Chris.
Thank you.
I'm gonna respect your time, and it's super awesome that you were here. I also want to, so I see the same questions popping up. Come to the Telegram group, follow the link in the chat. So whether you watch it on your phone or your desktop, click on chat, and then you will see the chat, and there you will see it's the Freedom Lifestyles Creatives /NRGY presentation. That's where you'll find all the information and also the link to the Telegram group. I'm there to ask you a question. If I don't know the answer on the question, trust me, I will bug Chris or Dwayne or whoever to find it out for you. But I believe we want to respect the time of Chris. He is busy now because we have to get CyberCity launched at some point. So I'm sure he has to do. Chris, thank you 1,000 times. Super awesome that you were here and to share all the information with us. And I'm looking forward to what's to come. And see you soon. You want to add something?
I want to thank you, Chris, for your valuable time. Everyone, just come to the Telegram group. We are there to serve you for all your questions. Let's crush this. This has a big vision. Yes.
Everybody is very early. So I'm excited to talk about this now because I know in the future it's going to be very crowded. There's going to be a lot of people looking at this, a lot of people using this. So these are the days that you always look back and you're like, man, remember when we did that webinar? Remember when we did that? That's what today is. And so if you guys are here, you're super early to the fact where you're getting something so undervalued. And I can just tell you the things we're working on, the people we're dealing with. It's going to be a fun ride, you guys. It's going to be so much fun.
What would be one last thing, your biggest advice, the call to action for people to do right now, besides coming to the Telegram group, but just energy wise, how to get positions on what is the best way to get positions, just to have
so my best piece of advice, it's not just for energy, okay, and this is kind of industry wide, is be careful what you see out there in the hype of the promises that are being made. It's just the industry in general is so exciting because so much is happening. We tend to get caught up in the next coin, the super coin, the whatever. And because we don't know a lot about these projects, or you don't know a lot about the technology, they look so good. And so sometimes these promises are so overzealous, they're so grand, and there's no way they could possibly give 15, 20, 30% rewards a week in, week out. Like, you have to understand, like, the money's got to come from somewhere, right? And so just be very careful. Don't ever give out your passphrase for your wallet, things like that. Just if you ever have a question in blockchain or crypto related stuff, ask somebody who knows the answer before you just jump to taking an action. Okay. You don't have to know everything about NFTs or anything like this. You're so early here, you have time to learn. But my suggestion would be to get energy wallets undervalued before all the press releases, before all the media goes out, right? Before all the patents are available for people to see. Is position yourself, and now will be the time to do that while the price is low, because it won't be like this for very much longer. And you got access to people right now, whereas later on it's going to be crowded. You're not going to have as much access. So that would be my suggestion.
Super awesome. Thank you again so much. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let everybody go.
Awesome.
It's a hot day here in Costa Rica, and thank you so much, Chris. And
thank you guys.
excited
Thank you so much.
and see you soon.
See you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.